Okay. So when there is a sequence of tasks that are given in this way, the checkpoint is used in such a way that if there is any error occurred in between or in any of the mentioned tasks in here, so the flow will be stopped there only. The next time when you re-execute or uh, you know just correct the error and re-execute all the flow, it again starts from the beginning. So whatever the beginning operations that are being done, it will re-execute all of them again. So in order to avoid that, we will be using checkpoints. So for that, we just go on to the properties window, and this we discussed to give a checkpoint file name. One XML file you need to create and give to this particular property windows checkpoint file name. And checkpoint usage should be if exist. There are like three options available: never, if exist, and always. So it's better to use if exist. That's suggested one. And the checkpoint, if the point is set to be true, so this one will enable the checkpoints for our SSIS package. And apart from this, what we need to do? What else do we need to specify to get this task like properly executed or something? So, and go on to the properties of each style. And here you will file one particular property called fail package on failure. So this property has to be set true. Okay, got it? So this property has to be set it to true. That is about the individual task. Go on to properties. Here you will notice fail package on failure set to true. Same way for this as well. True. Okay, this is one of my sequence. So let's execute now. So what this particular SQL task does is that it just drops a table called dummy and creates a table again. Okay. And what this task does is that it just truncates table temp address. And then this data flow task will actually do some operation, and we discussed this earlier. So let me start this execution and see if these three of them are completely okay with it. I mean, completely going to run without any error. So this one executed without any errors. So all the three flow got completed successfully. And now let's say we'll include an error and see if there is a possibility to use the checkpoint mechanism. Like this runtime error, we should create the runtime error to check checkpoints. So for that, let me just modify this. So I'm just this particular SQL command has going to fail because truncate I've just given a space in between, so it has to fail. And let's start the execution. See here. Now the first task has been executed successfully, and the second task now it's not executed, and the flow has like failed in here. That we can also see in this progress window, progress page. Started, and the truncate table temp address here the error occurred. Okay, Let me stop this. And change this, clear of the error and start execution again. See here, if you can notice, this particular task has been executed previously, but the error occurred in the second task. Now only second and third tasks are being now executed. So the first task is left because the first task has been completed successfully in the previous iteration, and we have done save checkpoint in for all of these three tasks. Okay, are we clear here? This is about the checkpoints. And one more thing that I wanted to tell you about is that parameters. So this is the one option to we have parameter option. Parameters can be created from here. So this is a package level parameters. And if you can go here and see in our projects.params, this is project level parameters. Okay. So there are two types of parameters. One is with a package level where you can see this beside this control flow data flow, and you'll be just finding this parameters in here. Create the parameter or to delete or whatever you can do, that you can do in this window only. So parameter is completely nothing but a variable. So we saw when we created a variable using this, just go on the right click of control flow window and then just create a new variable like here. Like this we can create. Okay, this is the variable. The scope of the variable will be on the package itself. So if you create a variable, that will be inside that particular package only. It can be accessed only within that package. The same way parameters as well. You just go on to the create new parameter. I would say count parameter. It's in the fin 32 and the value is 0 for the first time. And this, so with this, we have created a parameter. This can be used within any of the packages that I'll show you. So when I execute a SQL task, see here, if you can notice when we are creating execute SQL task, we used to go and give the SQL statement in here. Okay, instead of this, we want to give a SQL parameter. How do we do that? Is this SQL source type should be changed to variable. That time, see here, this is a package parameter count param that we just created a moment back. So that one has come up in here. You can just select that and click on OK. And coming to the package parameters, Here we have discussed, like we mentioned our project parameter to be, count parameter to be of int 32 data type, and the value is 0. So before, like instead of that, we can give string and give some update value. So let me open some table. So this is output 5 address table, which has some data, and modified date is 8:44 a.m. now today. So let's change this modified date to current date. Current date and time, that is 9:19 a.m. So for that, what we need to do is the count param is it's a string pair. Okay, let's change the name to str param. Okay, it's a string type, and what it actually says is that update op address table set, what is the column, modified. So with this, whenever I use this particular str param, whenever I use this str param, it internally takes the value of this particular variable, this parameter. So that we'll see in this control flow. Let's double click on it. Count param is no longer available. Str param is available now. With this connection also we should give, that is Prac database. So we have Prac database connection, and just click on OK. So this particular execute SQL task is now created. That is with parameter being used. Okay. So here the variable type, SQL source type should be variable, and we whatever the parameter that we need to use, that we can put it in here, and just click on OK. So the parameter creation will be in this screen, parameter screen. This is about the parameters, variables we discussed. Go on down, click on this variables. So I have disabled all of them, and let's execute this particular task 3. Before that, let's see the data. It is about 8:44 a.m. 2023 March 15th, 8:44 a.m. Let's now execute this task. So this actually failed to execute. Why it did so? So it says invalid object name OP address. That is because we have the table name called OP address 5, but we have given only OP address. Let's stop the execution and change the parameter to OP address 5 and start again. It says it executed properly, and let's go and check in the progress. So it says start unfinished, and in between that there is some 100% complete task. Let's now see the data. So what it says now, 9:23 a.m. Okay, modified date, we change it with help of parameters now. Okay, are we clear so far? Let us stop this execution and try explaining project parameters. So project parameters and package level parameters. These are the two types that are available for us. And the main difference between them is that there is a scope related to for every other package or every other variable or every other parameter. So the scope of this particular parameter created in here is completely under for package only. So for every package, there will be a scope. I mean, this particular parameter will be available within this execution of this particular package only. So when you create a project parameter here, this is a parameter test I've just created a moment back, which is a string again, which I want to take it for get date plus one now. This is the project parameter that will be available for all the packages that are available in our project. So the scope of this project parameter is throughout the project. Okay, let us save this and modify this particular execute SQL task. So instead of this package parameter, I want to use this project parameter, which is this project parameter test. So dollar project says that it's a project parameter and the double colon, and followed by this is the name of the parameter. Click on OK. So for the parameter that I've given, this one should actually get modified date of tomorrow. So get date plus one. Let's see if it works on try executing it. It's executed with success status indeed. Let's see the data. See, previously it was 2022 March 15th. Now it's supposed to be March 16th. See here, it is now March 16th. Okay, are we clear about this parameters? With this, we come to an end of the parameters section as well. Now, what I'd like to discuss is that about the containers that we actually supposed to discuss in the previous session. Let us discuss that now. So we have like three types of containers available for us: for loop, for each loop, and sequence containers. So for loop, is completely like loop. When we discussed about while loop in the SQL Server, we discussed how a loop works. So this is a for loop, which actually, let's go with the demonstration. Let's drop in here. So this is a for loop container. If you drop the for loop container, it will look like this. So double click on the loop. So it will actually ask for initial expression, evaluation expression, and assignment expression. So initial expression will be like assigning some value to one variable. Like when you, if you have any other programming language experience, you might have noticed the for loop, basically in the C programming language, for integer I is equals to 0 and I less than some value and I plus plus. So same way here also we'll do that, but with the three different values. So the initial expression, what it should be. So for this, we might need a variable. See, we have to create a variable first, and then we have to use that variable in this initial expression. So that is because we can't directly use some values in there. That is not a good practice, because this is always the hard coded value. For that, to make it very dynamic, let us create a variable. For that, we just go on the right click on it in the control window, just variables. Here I already have two. I would like to create new. Piece of test var, which is again the scope will be of package by default, and the value will be int 32. The data type, you can mention like any of the data type that you can have. So for now, it's supposed to be int 32 for me. And here I've created the variable. Let me use that variable in here. So to use any variable available in my SSIS package, I should be using with @ symbol. That is how we use it in SQL Server as well. So @ testvar. So this is our name. So testvar is not found. That is because the T is capital and V is capital as well. So this is a case sensitive variable that we should give. So initial expression testvar should be 0. And evaluation expression is @ testvar. This is again case sensitive. Testvar should be, if testvar less than 5, it should go on like complete to the next step. And the assignment expression is that we need to assign like a new value for testvar. So are we clear so far this? Initializing my testvar variable to 0 and checking if my testvar variable is less than 5 or not. If it is less than 5, the loop will execute it. If it is not less than 5, the loop will break. And every time we execute one cycle, we are going to increment the testvar value by 1. If I don't give this particular data, so this will be an infinite loop, because the testvar is set to 0 and the condition is 0 less than 5, true. And again, I'm not doing any updations, so it will directly go to 0 less than 5, 0 less than 5. It will go on for infinite number of times. To break that, I just mentioned my testvar value will be incremented for every execution, you can say. So just click on OK. So this for loop container now executed properly. I mean, set properly. That in the sense, no errors have been there now. So, and after that, whatever, so this particular container will execute for 10 times now. And whatever the tasks that are inside this particular container will be executed for 5 times. Let's see one of the script task, if it is available here. Script task. So this script task is used to run any non-native programming scripts direct in the sense like, let's try double clicking on it. When you go on the edit script, you will find the Visual Studio again opened to write a script. It will be mostly in C#. that also. Let's see, this is the script language, Microsoft Visual C# 2019. So you can see the screen, the newly opened. Let me add that one to share. See, this is a script that is automatically created for me. Okay, so what if I want to like do some pop-up for this? So for that, I need to write some script to get that pop-up out of my window. So for that, again, you might need some knowledge about Visual Studio. For that, I don't there are developers with Visual Studio and the C# language and as well as this MSBI technology has been in touch. So those guys will be understanding pretty much faster. So for the script, what we should be write? So for that, I'd like to show a message box that shows the iteration count. So for that, I have message box, this one, dot show method, which actually takes the parameter, which is of again string, you can say. See here, if we place the cursor on message box dot show, it takes string text and caption and whatever, if you want buttons, icons, whatever you have pass on, you can pick it up. This is like 20 overload methods are available. For now, we are just going to take one overloading method, that is with just passing as a string. Hello. Right. So this is how we create a script. Okay, when you just double click on one of these windows, execute script and followed by this edit script, you will be landed up into this window. I mean this Visual Studio scripts. So here and now we have to execute this. So this will actually show hello world for 5 times. Okay, let me execute this. Seems it struck just a minute. So now the script task is also like done with editing as well. So this is how you write scripts and execute them whenever like required, or how many number of times ever required. Okay. It is trying to open the new Visual Studio version. Click on OK. So now run this task. So this particular container of 5 should actually loop for 5 times. See, first hello world has come up. I click on OK. Second hello world has come. You can see hello world pop up, a small pop up. So where did it go? Yep, this is how it will come. I click on OK, it will just close. Click on OK, just close for 5 times. And this will get executed. If I go on to the progress, here you can see there's 5 times it's now executed. Okay, are we clear about the for container, for loop container? Okay, next one is for each container. For each container is almost all the same as for loop container. There is one particular difference. This for loop container will look through some values, but this for each loop container will look through objects available within it. So that is the only difference between for and for each. And we might need to check on the sequence container. So what is the sequence container actually is about this on a total, it serves as kind of like no functional service. So no logical service you can say, because the for loop container will actually loop through some values, and this for each loop container will loop through some objects available in it, and execute SQL task will obviously execute some tasks, script tasks same way. But sequence container will not have any you know any specific execution format. What it actually is used for is it is actually used for grouping our tasks together. Or to one more advantage is that it actually creates minimalistic package structure. See, if I want some data flow task, and again some execute flow task, and again whatever you want, just put in. So this will be one sequence container which contains a set of tasks, and overall it is considered to be a one task. Okay, if you look at an overall level, so let me rename this to read data, and all data reading related tasks that I'll be keeping under my sequence container. So this way you can actually minimize the complexity of the packages. And from here again, you can just go on to just linking. Okay, so this is how again linking can be done. So inside this again, this linking can also be done. So this is about sequence container. Let's disable for the moment, and this as well. So it's some information about like containers. the three containers that are available. We might have, like, we rarely use it about the send mail task, which is actually to, when there is an error occurred or when there is an information to be passed to any of the users, we use this send mail task, which actually sends an email to designated, to give an email ID. For that, again, we might need some mail servers to be set up. Usually, this will be used in organization level, not on the personal scales, but yeah. And the next thing that I wanted to show you is about the deployment, how we deploy our SSIS packages. For that, we actually have one thing called integration services catalog. This you can see in your SSMS window. You just go on to Object Explorer on the left side of your window. You will find integration services catalog. Just go on, create a new catalog with this option. This is not enabled because mine is completely a free version of software. So for the paid versions and the professional versions, these options will be available. This you can check it on yourself. This is straightforward of operation. Just go on create catalog and just give a name for the catalog and just one folder location and click on OK. With that, one of your catalog will be created. Okay, remember the catalog can be created with the integration services catalogs and followed by, just go on. SSIS package deployment can be done in two ways. One is individual package wise, okay, or complete project wise. So the complete project wise is just go on, right click on it, and there is an option called deploy. Okay, this is one way of doing it. So here source is your SSIS package and the destination. Here where comes your the SSIS catalog. So here, if you just connect, it field for a path. When you created an SSIS catalog, integration service catalog in here, you will be giving one path, one folder location in that create option. Same, we have to give it in here as well. Just browse for it and just click on next, next, next. And finally, the project will be deployed to your SSMS server. So this is as a free version. I can't do this in here, but this is how you deploy it. Just a straightforward option. Okay, are we good till here? We have one more thing to discuss. That is about SQL Server Agent. So what this agent actually does, you can say like you have created one of SQL Server catalog and you have deployed your SSIS package into this integration server service catalog. You can actually automate this particular SSIS package to run for every some time. Like you say, you can call it SQL jobs. How to create an SQL job, that we'll be going to discuss now. So just go on to SQL Server Agent and just go on to click on New. Here you will see job schedule operator or alert. So alert is to just if something goes wrong, we should alert to the end user that is saying something wrong. Operator is to create operator. The schedule is to create schedules or job schedules, and here there is something called job. This is what we are more concentrated about. So here we are creating a job to run for every set of time. Okay, so here I'm just gonna say test job, and the same database category is local again. A description, you can just give some description about the steps, is a common one. And in the schedules, you can just go on, click on new one. So this is where you define when your task should run actually. Okay, so this is a new job schedule, just weekly recurring. This is the time that it's going to start. It occurs every week. It reoccurs on every 1 week. So if you just mention this too, this will be executed only monthly twice. So that is every Sunday, as you mentioned here, as you ticked in here. So for now, I just want every week. So when should actually execute? So this one is the time that we have given. So I want to execute at 7 a.m. in the morning. So for that, I can just give 7 followed by start date. If you want to start it by, when do you want to start it by? So if you have checked it only for Sunday, so that means whatever the days like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, it will be executed from 20th only. That is because 20th is a Sunday. So click on OK. So this says job is now created, and just click on OK. This is simple way to create an SQL job. Okay. Are we clear about this? Okay, by this we have completed the SSIS part of our MSBI course. So we are now left with SSAS and SSRS. Analytical services are rarely used. We barely spend some time or no time on that. And coming for the SSRS, there are like pretty much straightforward and like small things that are being used in real time. So reports we will be using quite very less, because once the report is developed, it's of like no repetitive task. It's of only straightforward task that can be done. So we will be spending almost like a week or so on the SSRS part. Maybe like by next week same day, or if we consider our weekends also, maybe by Saturday or Sunday we can complete the SSRS part as well. Okay, so this is it for today, and we'll meet you in the new session for